Welcome to Haunt Weekly.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Haunt Weekly, a weekly podcast we haunt a attraction and entertainment community. Whether you're an actor, owner, or just plain aficionado, we aim to be a podcast for you. And we return to you this week somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about this briefly on our Facebook, so a lot of you already know. But we are on vacation this weekend, possibly next week too, depending on when we do the recording.
Right.
So if we sound a little different, if things are a little weird, well, part of it is we're in a very, very different room.
Yes.
And we're kind of just hacking together a setup to make this work. We're in the bedroom of our, I guess, a rental apartment. I don't know what to call this.
Yeah, it's basically an apartment.
Basically an apartment. So if we sound different, that's why. But also, this episode's going to be a little different in structure, mainly because we don't have show notes.
Right.
We're kind of just going with this one.
Yeah, because we found some things to do here that you might want to hear about.
That we want to talk about, and hopefully you want to hear about. And so there's a lot going on that I'm excited to talk about. We have not had an opportunity in the midst of everything else going on to create show notes.
Yeah.
And key among the things we've done on this vacation is visit not one, not two, but three year-round haunted attractions, including two functionally next door to each other.
Yeah, it was interesting.
So yeah, we're going to be talking about that in just a little bit. We got some housekeeping stuff we got to go through first, some heavier stuff. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But please, if you have not done so already, take a minute. Subscribe to us at hauntweekly.com or Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook. YouTube.com/Haunt Weekly is the YouTube channel. Every episode is available there pretty much the second they go live. And similarly, you can find us in Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast from. We're there. The nice people at Buzzsprout put it out for everyone to find on all the regular platforms.
Yes.
Very, very kind of them, I think, considering I pay them money for that purpose. But anyways. All right.
So, after about a 12-hour drive to get here.
Yep.
Within minutes of getting everything in.
Yeah, we literally lugged all the luggage up 2 flights of stairs.
Yeah.
To get here, I might add. We were dead tired at home drive. I got a push alert that there was haunted attraction news going on. I get Google alerts. And the news is very sad, to put it modestly. And basically what it comes down to is Zachary Ball, one half of the Bloodshed Brothers, has basically pleaded guilty to inappropriate sexual activity with a minor. I don't remember the exact charge, but basically there was a quote-unquote, and this is from the article on Patch, I'm quoting this part, quote-unquote sex ring at the haunt. We want to be clear that Jeremy Ball has not been implicated in any way by anyone that we're aware of.
Right.
We've heard no allegations against him, but Zachary Ball, one half, they're twin brothers.
Yeah.
Has been sentenced to 180 days, 178 of them to be served as part of a work release program. And as of right now, all the social media for the Bloodshed Brothers is offline, including the ones for the haunt and so forth. They've gone dark, which is probably the best thing for them to do, honestly. If nothing else than to minimize the harm to victims.
Right.
But this puts us in a bit of a pickle. Because episode 266, we were supposed to have both of them, but Jeremy had to back out at the last second. Right. I don't remember why. It's a long time ago. We're in the 340s now, so it was 80 weeks ago, literally. Don't remember why. But we had Zachary on, and he talked, and there was good information. But obviously, we're not comfortable leaving that there as is. Right. And we've been trying to think of how to handle this, and this has kind of put a cloud over the vacation in a minor way. Because, the conversation often inevitably turns back to this very difficult problem we're facing. I think what we're leaning to right now is re-uploading the episode with a preface. kind of like an update type thing. That way it's there, the information's there, but anyone who does listen to it will be aware of what happened. On our side is, according to my download tracker, that episode has not been downloaded, at least as a podcast, since the story broke.
Right.
So that's positive. I'm happy that we're not giving him exposure right now. And that's just the case for a lot of old episodes. There's nothing necessarily special about that. It's always interesting, the episodes that age and get lots of traffic, lots of hits, like months and years later. This was not one of those. So that's positive. And we have not been able to do that yet. I mean, if you can't tell from the quality of this recording, we're not exactly at full power. We basically have our recorder, our laptops, and a room.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and you might hear some noises in the background.
You might hear some echo from us, because even though I tried to position this so there is no echo, these rooms, it's impossible to do that.
Yeah.
So please bear with us if the audio is not up to snuff. I understand. We're doing the best we can, but also that puts us at a major disadvantage here. Now, we're going to talk more about this in a couple of weeks. We've tentatively scheduled a very important guest. I don't want to advertise them yet because, until we get everything locked in and confirmed, I don't do that.
Right.
But someone with personal knowledge of this, and hopefully can help not only, speak her truth, speak her voice on this, but also help haunt owners everywhere figure out how to prevent this from happening at your haunt.
Yeah.
Because I think that's very important. This needs to be a wake-up call. Yeah. In addition to oh God, these people, and not just realizing, okay, this person was horrible and did horrible things, or these people, because it's an actor there was also implicated.
Right.
In fact, another actor was implicated much more significantly.
Yeah.
Rather than just being that, I want this to be something that all haunt owners take seriously, and that we work to prevent happening underneath our noses.
Yeah. Because
I'm now deeply frightened at this possibility.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of people that have reached out privately, and a couple of people publicly that said that they knew Zachary.
Knew Zachary, yeah.
Yeah, and had no indication.
Yeah. And so we don't want this to happen at our haunt.
No.
We don't want this to happen at your haunt.
Mm-mm.
We don't want this to happen anywhere in the world if it can be at all avoided. So that's a big part of what we're going to be focusing on. So stay tuned for that in 2 weeks. The problem is we don't know exactly when we're returning from vacation.
Right.
It's kind of a weird return time because we know when we leave here.
Yeah.
But we're kind of deliberately taking a slow boat route to get home, to make a few stops and see a few things along the way. We should be home in time to record Sunday and do it, but we didn't want to make any promises, especially since we probably won't be mentally fully there yet.
Right.
And this really does require us at our best to even attempt to tackle this. So we want to do everyone justice, everyone right. 2 weeks' time, bigger conversation about this. Tentative plan, when we can, add a disclaimer or a preface to that episode.
Yes.
I think all that gets it covered.
I think so.
What I'll do is, for those who are a little bit surprised by this, maybe didn't hear the news, check out the show notes, hauntweekly.com. I'll have a link to the patch.com article, which does a great job discussing everything. They kind of bury that Jeremy has not been implicated in anything.
Right.
But they cover the actual allegations and the investigation that took place.
Yeah.
Very well.
And the article is already on our Haunt Weekly Facebook page.
We've already, so facebook.com/hauntweekly. If you're in a rush, check it there. It's we've had it up there for about ever since we got here, basically.
Yeah, since Friday.
Yeah, basically. So we've had it here for a while. Check out those things. New episode 2 weeks. Preface coming. We're still on vacation, so limited resources. We're doing the best we can. Please, everyone, be safe.
Yeah.
I think that about summarizes that. So now that we've gotten that out of the way for now, like I said, 2 weeks' time, coming back to it in a big way. Let's talk about what the hell we've been doing.
Yeah.
There's no good transition there, so I'm just going to...
No, there's
not.
There's really not.
There's no following that up. There's no happy transition. So we're just going to say what we've been doing. We've been visiting my parents in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Right.
And if you're not familiar with Myrtle Beach, it's often described as the quote-unquote redneck Riviera. Uh-huh. It's a major tourist destination. And in fact, I would say, from what I've seen this trip, it's a much bigger tourist destination than I recall just 10 years ago, the last time we were here.
I'd agree with that.
It's grown up a lot. So what we've been doing is we've been playing a lot of miniature golf. And I actually do want to talk about that because I've got a few things I was noticing about that. But we've also been visiting some year-round, or rather tourist seasonal haunted attractions. And we've specifically hit 3. One was Outbreak, which is at the Wax Museum here. Talk about both the haunt and the Wax Museum in a second.
Right.
Then we hit the Ripley's Haunted Adventure Up, which is right here on the Strip. And then as we were trying to go find a place to cool our heels and get a strong drink and hang out and look at the ocean for a bit, we of course found a third.
Yeah, Zombie Zone.
Zombie Zone.
Yes.
Is there a highway to the Zombie Zone? I don't know.
I don't know. There is a road in front of it. So there is that.
There is that. So we've hit 3 year-round, or at least tourist seasonal haunted attractions. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through each of them one by one, talk about things we liked, lessons we learned, and hopefully have a very intelligent and well-articulated conversation about these haunts without show notes.
Yeah.
But I think we can do this.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we meander more than usual, you know why. So let's start with the Wax Museum and Outbreak. Now, astute listeners will know we've discussed this haunt before in a news episode recently.
Yes.
And the news episode was about a shooting that took place inside the haunted attraction, in which it's still very confusing what happened, to be completely honest. But basically, an actor got shot in the leg.
Right. After
a group was going through the haunt, a gun magically appeared, according to current.
Yeah.
Like, no one's admitting to bringing the gun in, but someone clearly did. And then a scared patron shot the actor in the leg.
Yes.
That's what I remember and what I understand.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So we're coming at it a couple weeks after this happened.
Yes.
Not very long. One of the first things I noticed going in was they had a big no weapons sign.
No concealed weapons allowed. Yeah. And one thing I noticed is we also saw similar signs at other similar tourist destinations.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if those signs were there before this. We have no idea. Like I said, the last time I've been to Myrtle Beach was 10 years ago. And I sure as hell, I don't think the Wax Museum was even there 10 years ago. If it was, I didn't go.
Yeah, we didn't go and we would have.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was there or not, but basically we weren't there either way. So, yeah. We can't confirm those signs are new. But I definitely got the feeling going through that haunt that we were getting a very different show.
Yeah, I did too. And, there were some things that were conspicuously missing in the Wax Museum.
Yeah. Now, let's start there. That's a good point. That's a good idea. Let's start with the Wax Museum bit first, because we had to.
Yeah.
So we had to, too.
We had some extra time to kill, so we did everything.
And basically, if you buy the combo pass, this is the order you do things in. So we'll talk about all 3 projects, actually. I think is what we should. The first was the Wax Museum. I have never enjoyed wax museums.
No.
I'm just going to be honest. I haven't.
They're creepy, and I don't understand the point. Like, I really don't.
Well, and I get that too. But this one was a bit unique in that you were highly encouraged to go mingle with the wax figures. You're supposed to take photos with them.
Yeah, there was no barrier between you and the wax figures. And in fact,
if you followed the little trail thing, it would bring you to some of them, actually. It was... Yeah. You were very much being steered toward them. And in many areas, they had props for you to pose with. And what you were hitting at...
Yes. We entered the Hall of Horrors, blah, blah, blah. And
God, poor Jason. Sorry.
We'll get there.
Allow me to come back to that, please.
It started with Hellboy.
Yeah. Hellboy looked pretty good.
He did. And the prop that you were supposed to use was one of the giant guns.
Yeah, the Hellboy guns. I've not seen Hellboy.
The holder was empty.
Yeah.
It was not there.
They had removed not just his, but all fake guns.
Including the phasers.
Yeah, from Star Trek scene.
From the Star Trek scene.
Yeah. All weapons have been removed, it seemed like, that I can recall. Yeah. Now, we say we went to the whole...
No. There was one ninja scene that I think there was like a wooden sword or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But...
Yeah.
But yeah, the Hall of Horrors, Jason looked sad. He looked tired. He looked like his soul had been, like he was in his 50s. He's stuck in a dead-end job and his soul is crushed beyond belief.
Yeah.
And he's still murdering, but it's a loop for him. He doesn't even know why he's doing
it anymore.
The passion is gone in murdering.
Yeah.
It was so sad. And it was kind of funny because we were going through and we noticed that a lot of the figures were very, very creepy. Mm-hmm. And you quickly...
Like the regular ones.
Like the regular ones. Not even like the horror ones.
No.
The regular... We recreated Celebrity X.
Yeah.
And you picked up kind of quickly. It was because a lot of them are showing a lot of teeth.
Yeah.
Like a lot of teeth. Not like a little tooth through the smile.
No.
Like full dental exam teeth.
Yeah.
It was wild. So, yeah, it was creepy. But also, I have to wonder about the proportions a little bit. Because I'm 6 feet tall. I'm 6 feet pretty much dead even.
Yeah.
I do not think I have several inches on the rock.
No.
I think if I met Dwayne Johnson, he would be above me by a considerable amount.
Yeah, I think I looked it up and he's 6'5".
Yeah,
So the proportions were definitely off. I did enjoy seeing the classic monsters, the wax figures of that, and some of the classic TV characters.
Yeah. You could tell which properties they could get the rights to.
Yeah.
Because Daniel Craig and Sean Connery were both not Bond.
Correct. Yeah.
It's like, you fuckers. You put Daniel Craig in whatever random shit this is.
Yeah.
And Sean Connery was the captain from The Hunt for Red October, which that exactly is the most glorious film.
No, I don't think that's the one that most people know him from.
I actually really remember seeing that because I saw it with a daycare. And I feel like I was probably a wee little bit too young.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice for a daycare.
It was in the Dollar Cinema. That's why we went. This was a poor kids' daycare center.
That explains it.
We went to the Dollar Cinema. We paid $2.50, $1 for the ticket, and $1.50 for the tiniest soda you've ever seen in your life, and the tiniest box of popcorn you can fathom.
Yeah.
It was a steal, and we were happy.
Yeah.
But no, that's where I saw Hunt for Red October was there. That's also where I saw Fried Green Tomatoes, believe it or not.
I believe it.
They took us to some weird fucking movies for a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, that was an interesting thing to note. They also had at the very end, we're jumping around a lot, I know, but they had like Katy Perry, Beyonce, and Cardi B, and all in sexy outfits. And once again, everyone's encouraged to go up and be handsy with these models.
Yeah, that was just
uncomfortable.
Disgusting.
Like one guy is up there standing behind Cardi B, cupping her butt while his wife takes the photo. And it's like, what do you do, right? So, yeah, we did that first. And honestly, that felt like an obligation more than anything.
Yeah.
I do think it was kind of cute that they had a bypass for the Hall of Horrors. Like, if you're too scared to go see tired, dead inside Jason.
Yeah.
and they also had Elvira in that section, if I remember correctly.
They did.
Yeah. And the one thing I noticed about the Wax Museum, and this is going to sound kind of petty, it felt very small. It was very long. It had a lot of exhibits. But because they were trying to cram like 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag, I think. Like, there were sections where you were assholes and elbows with other patrons, even though it was not super busy.
Yeah.
Just because it was so tight.
Yeah, and the Hall of Horrors was actually the worst for that.
Yeah, they clearly did not think about, like, flow and traffic flow there. It was kind of rough.
Yeah.
But anyways, after that, we went down. We did went down the elevator, went to the basement of the building.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing we did was their hall of mirrors.
Yeah.
I think every human being alive, if they are able to, I don't know if it's available on YouTube, but if it is, you have to find the video that accompanied that. Please, please, please seek that out, because it is the funniest shit I can do.
And it's also really sad.
Look,
the story is sad.
I am the ultimate riff tracks. I'm one of the ultimate riff tracks and MST3K riffing bad movies fans.
Oh yeah.
If riff tracks ever gets a hold of that as a short,
yeah,
it will make my day.
Yeah.
So hard, because that needs a good riffing. Because it basically, I mean, even though it was apparently pretty recently done, the animation looks straight out of Reboot or worse.
Yeah.
You know, it was like 90s era 3D animation on the cheap DVDs.
Yeah.
It was bad, and it told the story of a princess whose mommy and daddy were away on official business so much that she had only one friend, her reflection.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you just fucking failed as parents. Why am I helping these two assholes out?
Yeah. Yeah.
They abuse the fuck out of that kid. Why am I helping them?
Yeah.
And
so they asked their aunt, which happens to be a witch.
Okay, and the bad thing here is the aunt that was the Wicked Witch was like not even a disguised Wicked Witch.
No,
this was straight out of Wizard of Oz Wicked Witch.
Oh yeah,
the movie Wizard of Oz Wicked Witch.
Yeah, it was the Wicked Witch of the West.
Yeah, it was the green face point.
Yeah.
I mean, like literally,
even holding the little dog. You know,
there was no excuse for not seeing this one coming, man.
No,
there's no excuse.
So anyway, she traps the princess in a mirror, and then I don't know what happened to her mom and dad, but they needed rescuing too.
They called on us because we were the chosen ones.
Yeah.
And the thing about this mirror maze, the mirror maze itself wasn't that difficult.
No.
Because it's triangular layout, which means every step you take, you only have two choices. And one is inevitably immediately right, and one is immediately wrong.
Yeah.
And you can easily see which it is. So other than a few dead ends, because there was a slight maze element, but not much, we cut through it pretty quickly. And I did like that they had the little spinny platform thing. And the only room that actually genuinely gave me, oh, fuck, what do we do here?
Yeah.
Was when we stepped, near the end, we stepped into a tent that had 6 entrances and exits to it. Now, luckily, you can dismiss the one you came in pretty easily.
Right.
And you can dismiss 4 others because they all just have mirrors on the other side. They didn't really...
Yeah, they didn't have false walkways to go into.
Not long ones.
Not even a little ways.
And so we go the correct way. We go across a glass bridge. I was very scared for you at that point.
Yeah, I know.
Because, I mean, you don't like glass or see-through walkways at all.
No.
And that's just been a thing for you for as long as I've known you.
Yeah.
And luckily, you know, this didn't bother you because it was actually a mirrored bridge.
Exactly.
And even if it were glass, it was only like a foot off the black ground. That's not...
I know.
But
yeah, that phobia I have is weirdly triggered.
And it's not triggered by things you would expect, is what I've learned.
No, it's not.
It's really not. It's a very difficult thing to nail down. But, you know, it's not a fear of heights.
No.
You love being up high.
Yeah, that's fine.
Roller coasters and shit like that don't bother you at all.
Nope.
Airplanes, you'll look right down out the window.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't matter. Not heights. It's something to do with see-through floors that...
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to say I understand it, but hey, you know, we all got something. We all got something. So
yeah.
That's all there is to that. But anyway, so we get to the last room where you're supposed to rescue the princess. And even though this did not set up like a major climax in any way,
no,
this was still incredibly anticlimactic.
Yeah, I don't know how much more of a dud of an ending they could have.
Because basically it's a classic dot room. They have the dot projection lamp in there, so it's filled with red and green dots. And there, standing to one side, is the princess, a statue.
Yes.
Not an animatronic, not anything.
Nope.
Just standing there off to the side of the walking path, and an audio recording plays. And she's like, "Thank you for rescuing me. I promise to never look at my reflection again," while she's standing in a room made of fucking mirrors.
like,
bitch, you're lying to us now.
Yeah, I'm not believing you. Those words coming out of your mouth are not true.
And it's not coming out that was moving.
No.
To tell the lie, you know?
Mm-mm.
So anyway, yeah. You know, it was amusing.
Yeah.
It was fun, but...
And I actually did like the maze part.
The maze part was fun, and we got a cool photo of me in it.
Yeah.
You felt inspired as a photographer for a brief moment there. It was kind of cool. You made a photo of infinite Jonathans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the worst kind of infinity.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it was like the actual maze part was pretty cool. But the whole beginning it was...
Yeah.
I think I'd have been happier if it had just been a Hall of Mirrors. Like with no story, nothing like that. Just because that... And you know, and then people know how big I am on narrative and story and haunts and attractions. Part of that is predicated on the story being good.
Yeah.
Not whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah. No kidding.
But anyways, we got out of there. We finally got to go to the haunt.
Yes. We're saving the best for last.
Well, yeah, we got 25 minutes to go in this recording, so and we got 3 haunts to at least get something through. First one was the one in that building, Outbreak. Now, like I said, we did not get... I feel very confident we did not get the same show that existed before the shooting.
I feel confident of that, too.
And one of the reasons is because, as we noted, the actor was shot in the leg, at least the best we can remember, but we never saw the actor's leg. The actor did stick their face into the room a few times. There were some drop panels and boo holes.
Yeah. Yeah, if you were going to shoot that actor, it would have been in the face. It wouldn't have been in the leg.
Yeah.
And don't shoot actors.
Please don't shoot actors, yeah. One thing I would like to comment on, and now that I can confirm this, when the whole thing, when it happened, a lot of people in Connor's Hangout and so forth were like, security should have handled this, security should have done something here. There was no fucking visible security anywhere there.
No.
Like at all.
No.
We saw security at the Ripley's one.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that in a minute, because it's probably one of the more interesting parts of that.
Right.
But we did not see anyone identified as security. Everyone there had a job related to customer service in some way. Whether they were an actor in the haunt, they were taking tickets, letting people in, selling tickets, running the gift shop. Every human being we saw working there was in a customer service role. There were no security guards.
No.
No one was just security. And that is interesting. But, like, what got me about the whole experience, both through the Wax Museum and everything else, was that from the outside, the building looks mammoth.
It does, yeah.
It's one of the bigger buildings we've been in this week, I think.
Yeah.
And everything felt tiny and cramped throughout it. But anyways, getting back to the haunt, I really have a lot I want to compliment them on. The main focuses for me are, one is the great decoration they did in that haunt. In general. Their non-human props looked great.
Yeah.
They looked very convincing. The lighting was good. They did some really neat things with LCD panels.
Yeah. I think that might actually be a kit where the doors move and the LCD panels show breaking glass.
Someone trying to bust through and
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I saw that as a kit.
I think it is a kit, but it was still very well used.
It was well used, yes.
And I'm a little disappointed they didn't let us go with other people.
Yeah.
But they pushed us to go by ourselves.
Well, that's because the group behind us was 6 people deep.
Yeah, and the reality is they couldn't.
Yeah.
I'm not faulting them.
No.
We've got to go through the other 2 attractions with others, and so we've got more commentary on how normal people... Yeah. I'm putting giant fucking air quotes here. One of those groups is definitely not normal people, but we're going to pretend they're normal people for a minute.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. But anyways, so I didn't get to see how others reacted to... Oh, take that back. We actually did, because we ended up running into a group.
Yeah, but before we get to that, they had a lot of animatronic props, and they used the actors as the startle.
Yeah.
Which was nice, because a lot of times in this type of setup, we've seen the actors having to keep your attention to be this distract for an animatronic that's not going to scare you.
And to clarify, we're not exactly sure if there's one or two actors involved in this.
Right.
We've been debating that off and on this whole trip.
I think there are two.
I still think it was one.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's kind of a moot point because if we're having this conversation and there's a serious question, either they have two actors when they probably could have had one.
Right.
Or they had one actor that was doing triple, quadruple duty.
Right, exactly.
So, either way,
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a good thing. Granted, I did not have any issue with the actor. In fact, one thing I think is all three haunts are united on is that the acting was great throughout.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them...
it's the middle of summer and they're giving their all,
These are some hard-working motherfuckers is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
And I have mad respect for them because they are busting their asses.
Yeah.
All of them, across all three of the haunts. Incredible respect to each and every one of them. Honestly, it was also the longest of the haunts we've done on this trip. But even then, it was still fairly short. It was only 11 minutes.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Our intention was to just go to the haunt.
Right.
But Shawnee and Ellie and other people we're traveling with wanted to go do something else, and that stuck us there for longer than we had planned.
Right.
And so we're like, well, we might as well do everything. I'm glad we did everything. Because it was $40 a ticket to do the museum, the glass house, and the mirror maze, and the haunt. It would have been $20 just to do the haunt.
Right.
And that would not have sat well.
No, it would not have. That seems a little pricey.
Yeah.
For an 11-minute walkthrough.
And like I said, with one or two actors, not heavily acted haunt.
Right. We did run in, as you mentioned, to the group in front of us.
Yes.
That's because there was a dark hallway and no one wanted to go in.
And I want to put a pin on the dark hallway thing because it gets really important later on.
It does. And
it explains why my gut still hurts.
Yeah. So, yes, we found them because an air cannon went off and hit my leg.
Yeah, you were the one that triggered it.
Yes, and the group in front of us that we had just caught up to hit the floor and screamed.
And I did not see this, but I can easily envision it because I was around the corner. I was bringing up the rear at that particular point.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the funny things, I've noticed when we walk through a haunt, we change who's leading almost constantly.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it is because we move at different paces.
Yeah. The only exception is when what happened to the last haunt we went to today.
Yeah, we did not swap places then, and it was not our choice.
It was not. We'll get to that.
We swapped places very routinely, but at this point, you were in the lead. You rounded the corner first, the air cannon hit, and you got to see the show of letting the bodies hit the floor. But yeah, honestly, I thought it was a pretty good haunt. Overall, like I said, it still felt a little empty on actors, but they definitely made up with other automated scares.
Right.
They made up a lot of ground. And seeing that group, I'm glad we did run into that group because we got to see how effective it was to them.
Right. Well, and we saw a couple leave as we were waiting to get in.
Yeah.
And they were also scared.
No, they were shaken, not stirred.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I'm glad we got to see that because it's easy for us, because we even got commented on today about how they're not scared at all.
They're just gonna walk through.
They're just gonna walk this whole out, smiling and looking at things. Well, and I wanted to look around and said, "Yeah, we run fucking around a fucking haunted house, dude."
Yeah, but we're not gonna do that.
We're not gonna do that. I felt like saying it hard. I did not.
No.
I restrained myself, but it did cross my mind. It's like, yeah, dude, I'm here getting ideas. I'm here getting things to talk about for a podcast.
We tried to let you go first. Anyway.
Yeah, we really tried. And
we're going to get to that.
We're going to get to that, too. But anyways, no, Outbreak, I thought it was actually a fun haunt. I mean...
Especially for family-focused, all ages, year-round.
Yeah. It's
because that's a different criteria than super scary, October only, 200 actors.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing. You just hit on what I was trying to articulate in my head. You put the words in my head out of your mouth, and it's great. I appreciate that. Because what I was going to say is we're kind of judging these from a different angle.
Yeah, Exactly.
That's what I was trying to say. Because these are at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. This is June.
Uh-huh.
And Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, even though I really don't think it's as family friendly
as it wants
to pretend to be.
Yeah.
And legally tries to legislate itself to be in places.
Yeah.
I don't think it is that.
Mm-hmm.
It is treated that way. It is very much a family destination.
Yeah.
And so this is where, mom and pop come with the kids, and these are the places the teens go when they want to break away from the family for a few minutes and do something a little crazy, do something a little different.
Yeah.
It's not, like you said, your Halloween, we have 60 plus actors inside, balls to the wall haunted house.
No, it's not.
It's not meant to be that. These are meant to be fairly cheap, both to operate and go through. And cheap in a tourist destination does not mean the same thing as cheap outside of that space.
No.
Because the cheapest haunt, I think, was $12. And it's still not very cheap for the time it took.
Right.
But regardless, we're talking tourist destination cheap. So yeah, we're grading this on a very different scale and with a different philosophy than we normally would.
Well, yeah, because we've been to 2 other year-round haunts.
Yes, one in Galveston, 1 in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Well, Ravens Grin Inn, but
so 3.
That's a separate fucking orbit. We can't even put.
Yeah, that's just.
That's not even fair. Okay.
It's not.
So Jim, we didn't forget you.
You just blew the curve for everybody else.
You have to be excluded from the results to keep the data somewhat consistent.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, you have apples, oranges, and kumquats or something, or dragon fruit.
It's apples, oranges, and the whole goddamn fruit basket. I mean, it's just, it's nuts. That's not even a fair comparison. But yeah, other than Ravens Grin Inn, yes. Galveston, San Antonio, we've been to both of those. So yeah, honestly, I said I enjoyed Outbreak. I thought it was good. I loved some of the decorations, used the LCD panels. They had great automated scares. They kind of overused the thing falling on you scare. Mm-hmm. But they had some good scares in there in general. I think it was a lot of fun, and apparently it really hit hard with the group that was in front of us. So seeing that kind of calms me down, because I didn't find it particularly scary. But the actor did have great timing. The actor knew what they were doing. Mm-hmm. Actor or actors knew what they were doing. And yeah, I thought it was good. I know it's not the same show that was there a few weeks ago.
Right.
But I do not know for certain how they changed it. Other than obviously keeping the actor more physically separated.
Yeah. Because
retreat space was very, very critical in this haunt. I noticed that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on.
All right. 2 Ripleys.
We almost didn't do this one.
Yeah.
Because we did the Ripley's year-round haunt in San Antonio.
Right.
And even though that, once again, the actor in that haunt was busting ass. Mm-hmm. Hardest working people in haunt, and I'm telling you what,
Yeah.
They were moving. Even with that, though, it was a very disappointing experience.
Yeah.
And we were even more disappointed because we got basically pressure sold.
Yeah.
An upgrade to our ticket that we did not want, but they would not let us buy just one track. Because we were in San Antonio for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
We were stopping in on the way to South by. We had like no time. We wanted to see the Alamo. We wanted to see the little riverfront area. And we wanted to do this haunt. And then we had to get our asses to South by Southwest. Mm-hmm. And no, you must go through the museum type thing. It's like, God damn it. So that put us in a bad mood. To hate it already. And then the haunt itself, despite the actor, once again, working their ass off, didn't land well with us. Mm-hmm. Here, I think the haunt landed a little better. Yeah,
and the reason we weren't going to do it is because we were already tired. Mm-hmm. We've noticed,
We were already tired when we did one Ripley's haunt elsewhere and weren't super impressed. It just didn't feel worth the energy / money / time.
Yeah, we stopped to get ice cream and cool off for a minute. And while we were sitting there, we see the haunt across the street. And one of the cool things they have is one of the scares where the chainsaw is operated is where you can see it from outside.
It's on an open air balcony, basically.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in those old dark rides when the car goes like across the top floor and is visible to the world for a second.
Yeah.
It was a lot like that, but with people running from Chainsaw Guy.
Yeah.
Or gal in this case.
Gal in this case, yeah. Yeah, and there were, 2 front of house actors downstairs interacting with people around.
And they were amazing.
Yeah, they're...
The clown guy in particular, because there was a silent one. Mm-hmm. It was like a Jay and Silent Bob situation. Yeah. One wouldn't shut the fuck up and one didn't talk.
Yeah.
They both did the jobs very well, but the clown-ish character, I mean, you say he's a clown, and I guess he is, but it didn't clock me as clown. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, scary clown.
Yeah.
Scary distress. Yeah.
Anyways, he was really good, really witty, and we got stuck with 2 girls.
2 guys. 2 guys.
It was 2 guys?
Yeah.
I never really got a good look at him, so.
Yeah, it was 2 guys.
But anyways, we got stuck with 2 people that apparently had been through before.
No, you're thinking of the last one.
Oh, I am thinking of the last one. You're right. This was the 2 guys. You're right. Okay, now I remember. Yeah, these were the 2 guys who look like frat bros.
Yeah, exactly.
But younger.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to grow up to be frat bros someday.
Yeah, right now.
You're right. I'm getting my group mix.
Yeah, because we went, fairly close to each other.
We've been really hot and tired today.
Yeah.
Like, I did, all the walking to play disc golf, and then I did all this walking around the haunted houses in the heat of summer in South Carolina.
Yeah.
So anyways, moving on. You're correct. It was the 2 guys.
So anyway, we buy our tickets. There's a security person there.
Who is armed, I might note.
Yeah.
Which just struck me as odd.
Yes.
Because nowhere else, we went all up and down the strip. Nowhere else was there an armed security guard I could find.
Nope.
I don't know why there was just abruptly an armed security. He was very nice. He seemed very polite. Was very helpful. But it just why armed security here?
Yeah,
and this isn't the haunt that had the shooting.
No. So yeah, that part was crazy. So we get to where we think we're supposed to go, and they say no, you go out around and to the other side. Fine, we do that. We walk through the little thing, and we get right back to where we just were.
Yeah, just on the other side of a chain. And it's like, that was completely pointless with no one. Because I get it. They wanted to funnel us through the queue. There was no one in the fucking queue.
No.
We were it.
Yeah.
We and those 2 dudes were it. And if you're going to make us go together, just have us go together.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I got to say, this haunt was very front-loaded. Because the 2 actors from outside followed in a certain distance of the way.
Right.
And then the chainsaw scare comes. And after that, it tapered off a lot.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing an actor.
I don't remember.
Maybe one.
I don't remember much at all from, that 1/3 point, we'll say.
Yeah.
Up until the very end.
I remember the really cool, giant skeletal puppet statue up in the ceiling in the, dungeon area. That was cool.
Yeah. This wasn't that much. And it was a short haunt at only 6 minutes.
Yeah. Well, and I don't understand why the second guy from outside wasn't inside the haunt somewhere scaring people.
Yeah. He really did not have much of a purpose. Front of house. Right. Because front of house is for your chatty characters, your chatty actors. Yeah. People that can engage and entertain and hold. And mute characters, while potentially very effective at scaring, I'm not knocking mute characters for the record, that they don't typically work queue line, and even with a mouthpiece. Yeah, maybe he was new when there was training day or something, but they did seem to be training people because that seemed to be a common theme everywhere we were going, especially with the haunted houses. Because I think every haunt we saw someone getting trained, to do a job. Yeah, like at Outbreak, the ticket taker was being trained. Here we're suspecting the mute actor was being trained, and at the last one we did, the Zombie Zone, there was someone being trained on cashier. So we saw people being trained at every location. So that could be it. Exactly. But yeah, now they did have a great scare at the end. I thought it was good design, even though I don't like the way it traps people, though. No, I'm thinking of the wrong haunt again, aren't I? You are. God damn, Zombie Zone is on my brain.
Yeah.
So,
that's because it was the last one we went to.
Yeah, and it was, I think, probably my favorite of the three, the more I think about it.
Yeah, I don't even remember the ending of Ripley's, honestly.
It was stairs. I know we went downstairs, but...
Oh, it was a question mark.
Yeah.
There was a question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, it was the end. It's like, all right, that's a thing that happened.
It was fine. It was fun, but like I said,
I like the decor in it.
The decor was okay. It didn't... I know that they can do more with that space, and I know they could do more scaring. One of the traps they fell into, and so did Zombie Zone, was the use/abuse of blackout labyrinths, or just dark rooms in general.
Yeah, they had the kind of claustrophobia tunnel that you go underneath.
Yeah, duck and push, they were telling you. And that's... I'm not opposed to claustrophobia tunnels. They have a purpose. But I kind of question it being your first real scare.
Yeah, well, okay, so it was the second.
Yeah.
Because the first was the door slam and the guy coming from the other side.
Yeah. But
which was good.
But the claustrophobia tunnel was where we separated from the two front of house actors.
Yes.
This was the first.
This was you're on your own now.
Yeah, this was the you're on your own moment as a claustrophobia tunnel.
Yeah. No, so that was the first of the second half. After you get off the elevator.
Yeah.
Because the first part of it was, okay, keep up, and then they just bolt and run.
They did that old chestnut that we've done.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made it work before.
I know. Yeah, well, and the two people who were with us were very confused about where they went. And I'm like, they just took off. Of course.
I know exactly where they went.
Yeah.
Alice is hiding in the little cubby
exactly.
hole there, and Crystal's about to pop out from the river with a shovel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is just normal life. What's wrong?
Exactly.
But yeah, okay. Yeah. But anyways, we got done with that. We went further down the strip, and we were looking now for a place to get a couple of drinks. And we found Zombie Zone. Mm-hmm. And after looking it up and finding out that, yes, it was indeed a haunted attraction, we decided to give it a go, too.
Yeah.
And this time around, we got paired with two girls.
Yes. Two young girls, 12 to 14.
Yeah, they're younger-ish. They were teenage, but, yeah, not... They were like the two guys were probably high school. These were probably middle school girls.
Yeah.
To give you an idea, they apparently had tried to go through earlier,
right,
and tapped out or otherwise begged to get released.
Yeah.
And this was their second attempt, and it did not go significantly better than the first.
Right, and they would not get out of the middle.
No.
They wouldn't let Jonathan and I switch places. They wouldn't let me get behind him so that they could be last. They wanted the middle.
Which anyone who knows anything about haunted houses knows why that is stupid.
Yeah.
That is just poor strategy all around. If you are the scaredy cat of the group, the best place is usually first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's usually first. And I know that's counterintuitive. Mm-hmm. And there's a little pressure because you're leading the group now. You're the one who's guiding people.
Right.
But trust me, most of the scares are not going to be targeted at you.
Yeah.
Most scare toward the middle or the end.
Yeah. And the two guys from the previous hunt that went with us wouldn't get in front of us.
Yeah.
We tried multiple times and they were just like, nope. We are staying at the end. And then they were disappointed that we didn't get scared. That's on them.
We tried to tell you, anyways, we're going to move at our own pace, but...
Yeah. All right. So back to
Zombie Zone. Yeah.
I actually enjoyed this haunt.
Yeah.
And the two girls probably did help it.
Oh, I know they did. I know they helped me.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
The decor in it was pretty good.
Yeah.
They were definitely shorter on actors.
I thought they had multiple, though.
But they did have multiple people. We know they had multiple people because the ending was, I was trying to do earlier, where they had a chainsaw person, come from one direction.
Yeah, a person with a shovel from behind and a chainsaw in front.
Yeah. And it was a little nerve-wracking because they were scaring onto a stairwell.
Yeah.
A very steep stairwell, I might add.
Yeah.
And apparently no one was hurt in that, but my first thought was, oh God, they just ran those two girls right to the stairwell, and if they aren't paying attention, and God knows they were not paying attention, they could have ended up in a heap of flesh on the floor.
Yeah.
Thank goodness nothing like that happened. But anyways, the moment that was so funny to me was they did over-rely on blackout labyrinths.
Yes.
They had two lengthy scenes. One of them, I actually hurt my nose because I walked into a door because I did not realize it was a blackout labyrinth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't before I caught on to what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, once again, we were hot, we were tired, we're already exhausted, our feet hurt, my back hurts. We're in vacationing, but we're not in our happy place physically or mentally this time.
Yeah.
But once I realized, okay, it's a blackout labyrinth, I knew exactly what to do, and I managed to get way ahead of the group.
Yeah.
Without even really trying.
Yeah, on the second one especially.
Yeah, both of them I got ahead some, but the second one I unintentionally got ahead. Because it's like, keep up with your group. I can't see my fucking group.
Well, that's because they were between us and they had pool noodles or something at leg height.
Yeah.
You probably weren't bothered by them. All the rest of us were wearing shorts.
Well, I felt the pool noodles.
Yeah.
In fact, I thought they were, I didn't think they were pool noodles. I thought they were the jets of air, the ticklers.
Yeah, they weren't ticklers. They were something else.
I felt something there.
Yeah, but they didn't feel quite like pool noodles, but they were about that size and shape.
I felt it on my legs. I was wearing pants, but I did feel it.
Yeah.
But it didn't bother me because that's kind of what I've come to expect in that environment.
Yeah. So the girls are hugging themselves.
Terrified about things touching their ankles.
Terrified of things touching their legs. Horrified that spiders are touching their face because of the strings and not going forward. And I can't divulge what's actually going on to get them to move. And I am going to give it to the actor in that room because she did not say, get out. She did not say hurry. She did not say leave. She said, we're going to start playing a game in here.
Yeah.
Or
you have 10 seconds to get out before you have to stay here forever. Stuff like that.
We're going to lock you in 10 seconds.
Well, here's the problem with a haunter going through a haunted house in this situation. Is at some point the instinct kicks in.
Oh, yeah.
Whether you want it to or not.
And I know exactly when that kicked in for you.
Because I made it through the blackout maze.
Yeah.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I got out, and the room on the other side, it was actually fairly bright. It was lit without red LEDs, but it was fairly bright. And I realized there was an accidental boo hole in that room. If you went and pressed yourself against, a wall, you couldn't be seen. And I saw that, and I'm like, do I?
You saw that, and you heard them say,
where's my husband? Where'd your husband go?
Yeah, where'd your husband go?
Which, got bad news there, ladies.
Yeah.
We're living in sin. No.
Yeah.
But no.
So, he's gone. He took off.
He's at the end. He's somewhere else, man. I don't know. Y'all took too long. He's gone. And I heard you say he went, I don't know. Because you didn't.
No, I couldn't get around them.
No. So I got into that boo hole. And then, sure enough, they come around. They get blinded by the light for a second. I don't even have anything planned. I'm just, jump out. One of them collapses, leans back and hits the wall on the other side. And the other, just as hard as she could with her fist, clenched her fist and gave me a hammer fist punch right to my gut, right below my sternum.
Yeah.
That's when you hit with you clench your fist, you hit with the bottom fleshy part of it instead of the knuckles. And that took the wind right out of my fucking sails. I'm not even going to pretend I didn't.
Yeah.
Just boof. And the thing is, she wasn't actually trying to hit me. She was trying to prevent herself from falling and was just struggling, flailing.
Yeah.
But she had plenty of powder. And I don't know, man. I'm a little doughy in that area these days. That hurt.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But we got through that. And honestly, like I said, that one I think was my favorite too. I've been thinking about it.
Yeah.
I think Outbreak was a little bit longer. It had better decorations and did not make use of blackout mazes, which I enjoyed. But the actor interaction was severely limited because the actor was not really allowed to speak in that role. And in this one, the actors were very engaging, even when they were not physically in the room.
Yeah.
They were engaging with you every step of the way.
Exactly. Yeah, and something to note about both Ripley's and Zombie Zone, I don't remember seeing a single animatronic.
There were some animatronics in Ripley's, but in the very beginning, and they were very basic ones.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember that.
They were very, very basic ones, like in the first room. They were very basic. In fact, I saw them. My thought was, that's kind of sad.
Oh, that's right. It had Shake and Bake in there.
Yeah, and Shake and Bake was in there too, yeah. I'd forgotten about Shake and Bake.
Okay, but so then Zombie Zone, I don't think had any.
Yeah, I don't believe they did. But yeah, the actor engagement in Zombie Zone was through the roof.
Yeah.
And I think that's what really does it for me. I mean, I think like from an appearance-wise and length-wise, like Zombie Zone was 6 minutes, 40 seconds. It was $12 a ticket. Ripley's was 6 minutes dead. It was $13 a ticket.
Yeah.
And we were only in Zombie Zone as long as we were because of the girls.
Yeah.
I think Ripley's is probably actually longer. But we just got held up more in Zombie Zone.
A lot more.
So there's a lot of comparison between them, like a lot of even exchange there. I think what makes Zombie Zone so much more interesting was the actor interaction.
Yeah, me too.
And it was very, very good interaction, and it followed all the rules Japes talks about.
Yeah.
Don't make threats you're not going to back up.
Right.
Don't scream anything you can spell, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Because when they were actually doing their jump startles, they were they weren't saying words.
No.
And nobody in that haunt said, "Get out."
Nope.
Ever. And in fact, like you said,
nobody said, "Help me."
Yeah, when they needed to make those girls move, like you said, it talked about how, we're going to come in and play games with you if you don't get moving and things like that. Well, they probably will actually do that. I actually believe.
Yeah, they could do that.
I totally believe it's not going to be Crokinole either.
Yeah. No, I know that they probably wouldn't have locked us in 10 seconds.
Yeah, okay, they probably shouldn't have said that.
But it was still not it gave you a sense that you need to hurry, but not a get out of here now.
It's not we're going to boil your bones in the broth or anything like that.
No.
It was much more sensible than that.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think it was really, really good. The only thing I did not like there was they scared onto a stairwell, which is very bad form.
Yeah.
They need to address that. And I think one way they could easily address that is put a gate of some type over at the top of the stairwell. So, they have to basically open the gate to get out. They can't just run and hit the stairwell.
Yeah.
Make it a gate that you can open yourself as not a fire hazard or anything like that.
Right.
Something you can trivially open, but something you have to stop, look, and think before you open.
Yeah.
That might, if they're going to scare but honestly, the better solution is just not to scare on the fucking steps.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're almost out of time.
We are.
So we probably should wrap it up. But anyways, that's been our experience in Myrtle Beach. I want to talk next time around about some of the lessons I've learned from the mini golf places we've been. We've been to a lot. Myrtle Beach is the mini golf capital of the world.
Yeah, we've done one a night except for tonight.
Yeah. So, and I've seen a lot of things there I think are useful for haunters.
Yeah.
So until next time, definitely take a minute. If you have not done so already, follow us at hauntweekly.com, Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook, youtube.com/hauntweekly, and of course, wherever you get your podcasts from. But until next time, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And we'll see you all next week, probably as we talk more about this vacation and lessons learned from it.
Okay.
See y'all then.